Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome to the little MX Simulator gameplay. I did not want to do a track walk for this track, seeing as it's a real-life track, I guess, that was raced for a real event, but it is the Red Bull Straight Rhythm 2018 version, and just gonna go up and down these lanes, back, just over and over and over again for the next, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, and talk to you about the race, talk to you about some other things, and overall play this game. I have a ghost that I created that I'm going up against that starts right next to me and just switches over into the right lane. I'm going to try, for the most part on this video, to beat him. I don't think it's going to be too tough. It's a 54-4. I'm guessing I could probably actually get down into the 52s if I got the lanes all pretty clean. Didn't get him that clean this time, and he's going to beat me again, so we'll go back to the beginning. But yeah, Red Bull Straight Rhythm 2018 was all two-strokes. Any CC range from 250 and above in the 250 class, and any CC range from 150 or below in the 150 class. Mostly 125s, obviously, in that one. And what a special event this was. There was just so much like nostalgia going on with the tributes and the throwbacks, and the obviously the two strokes being a part of the event was a huge deal as well. But then you have Ryan Dungey essentially come kind of out of semi-retirement to race this. Ryan Villapoto's back again, reigning champion of the event. Jared Stanky is there, and then you have a couple current pros and like Josh Grant, McElrath, Jordan Smith all show up, Cameron McAdoo. The list goes on and on. It was really cool to see how many guys ended up showing up for this one, and trying to take it to some of the legends of the sport in like Dungey and Villapoto, and it really turned into quite a spectacle. I think the bikes are still kind of the storyline with all the two strokes that were there. AJ Catanzaro in the 125 class did a James Stewart tribute, and also in the 125 class, Luke Renzland did like a Jeremy McGrath tribute from his peak Honda days, although Renzland was on a Yamaha. But still just so cool to see the varying concepts and ideas that people came up with to run cool bikes or cool gear sets or whatever it was at this event. And then you throw it on top of all these guys trying to make these two strokes work on supercross tracks, which supercross tracks have changed quite a bit since two strokes were the norm. You have to go back to 2005 when a two-stroke last won a Supercross championship, and it was Carmichael. And although the tracks were pretty, I would say, like cookie cutter by that point, the way that they built the jumps and everything back then even was quite a bit different than what we see now. And I think even more so since the four strokes have gotten better and better and better, they've really started to make things not necessarily like gnarlier, but just like in general have smoother transitions, better flow all the way through. The rhythm sections are definitely, I think, a lot more, I don't know the right word because I feel like they get a little too repetitive, but there's a lot more going on in a rhythm section at times. And there we go, I already beat my guy once, so I'll hop over to the right lane now. And I feel like they kind of toned it down for the straight rhythm this year. I think to mimic the fact that there's going to be two strokes there. I mean, there's really only like two pretty decent sized rhythm lanes, with that one being one of them, and then another one being right before the finish line. I mean, I guess you could call this a rhythm lane, but I really just feel with the way that everybody was kind of platforming from table to table on that one that it's really difficult to call it a rhythm section. And then we had a couple of big jumps here mixed in, maybe get those guys some airtime. And then this is what I would call the second rhythm section, where there's a couple different options. Pretty much just going to be taking this one the whole time through, where you hop over this table and then on off at the end. And then of course the walls to kind of break up the flow. But I feel like I've seen straight rhythms before that have kind of crazier setups. Like there was, like even last year, I feel like the rhythm section like had a couple like triple quads in there, whereas this one, like the best you can do is double triple double. Like it's not a very long rhythm section, I guess. So whether or not they toned it down for the two strokes, I really don't know. But what it did do was provide some absolutely epic racing, really close races, pretty much in every, category, discipline that I can think of. Like, I don't remember any one-sided huge blowouts other than a couple of the first round ones, of course. And then Porcel actually had his engine go kablamo in his Husqvarna, and that obviously was a pretty big, margin of victory. But everything else was like an absolute drag race. Whoever got these whoops at the end, really clean, seemed to take the victories most of the time. And then, the 250 two-strokes were pretty good in some of these rhythm sections, like up right here. The 125 guys were struggling to just kind of go double-double and maybe throw a triple in there. The 250 two-strokes could pretty easily do the line I just did, kind of because my brain just switched over to it. There actually is 3 versions of this exact track that have been made and replicated in MX Simulator already. This is the J.Perry Designs one. There is also one by Insane FMX, which is Dominic Saulnier, and another one by Lidzor, which I believe is Matthias Lidman, but I probably am wrong. And I don't really know if they were like trying to like outdo each other or just out perfect each other. Really the main reason I chose this one is because like it's not necessarily that the track is that much better or different than the other ones. I really think that actually Insane FMX's rendition of it probably did the best job of making it the most realistic version. However, the environment actually matches on this one where the race was held, which was at the Pomona Fairplex in California, and this is the same environment that Chris Riesenberg used when he first made the Red Bull Straight Rhythm back in like 2015 when it was also at the Pomona Fairplex. So just to kind of stick with kind of formality of the look of the event and everything like that, I went with J.Perry's track. But they're all good, and I'll actually include links to all of them in the description so you can kind of choose which one you want. They have a little bit different flow on each one, and some of the differences in the tracks also produces some different lines you can take as well, but they're not massively different all around. Like you can pretty much hit the same lines as I'm hitting here, which was pretty much the standard lines that the 252 stroke guys were hitting in all 3 of them. So there's that. But then back to kind of discussing the Red Bull Straight Rhythm, what a cool event. And like I said, the 125 guys were kind of struggling to hit a couple triples in those rhythm sections. The 250 guys, I feel like we're doing mostly what you would expect them to do on 450s. Maybe, just maybe, they could have hit, like another triple somewhere that they weren't doing or something along those lines. But for the most part, the rhythm sections were set up to kind of funnel guys into very specific lines to keep them close, I feel like. Like this one, for example, what else are you going to do through here except maybe throw a triple in, but then you get offset on the tabletops. That's what I mean. I just don't know what else the 450 guys really could have done. It was really the name of the game of the straight rhythm is staying low to the ground and, keeping the speed going with the rear tire on the ground. So if you take that out of the equation and instead start funneling around with doing triples or quads in there, you're spending more time off the ground, and maybe you're going faster because you're going farther, but it's not always the case. So again, I think that these guys are pretty much hitting the lines they would have hit anyway. And so Shane McElrath wins the 250 class, Carson Brown wins the 125 class. And obviously, storylines like Dungey and Villopoto squaring off, and Dungey gets the better of Villopoto. There's a lot of crap talking going on before this event, which is really funny. And it was really funny, too, because of how, kind of dumb, no offense, but how dumb the fans were about it all. Like, Jordan Smith and Ryan Villopoto were going at each other, and it was clearly all in jest and in fun. And the fans were just ripping into Jordan Smith, basically telling him he's garbage, his career is over, Ryan Villopoto is way better than him, he could never hold a candle to Villopoto, and it's okay, wow, now we're taking it a little bit too far, So I thought that was kind of funny, but the trash talking in general, and it's happened, this is the second year in a row where it's really been the trash talking straight rhythm. Is always pretty funny, and it was able to drag Ryan Dungey off the couch, and Dungey looked great, man. No question, he's been actually still riding. It's not like he just disappeared off the face of the earth, and we've seen him ride since he retired. But dude, he looked good. The KTMs definitely were probably a little overboard, if not the 300 engine out of the enduro bike, but it was still really cool to see how smooth and technical Dungey still was. You know, McElrath just was able to tip him at the end, and McElrath is pretty much considered to be like a 250 title favorite this year, so that's still pretty gnarly of Dungey to be at that level. And, you know, we saw Villapoto race the Monster Cup and get inside of the top 10, so those guys are still gnarly dudes, you know, like they're not messing about when they get on those bikes and square off on the line. So it's really cool to see them back. And just, yeah, all the tributes and all those things all around. And speaking of tributes, I want to, again, remind everybody that the reason I'm all decked out in the pink here is for my cousin Stacy, who passed away just a little over 3 weeks ago from breast cancer. She was a fighter, and she was definitely a bright spot in our family. And again, I'll leave a donation link in the description below. If you feel like you would like to donate, of course, it's, you know, it's not like I'm begging for it or anything like that, but if you'd like to help out our family, I'd greatly appreciate it. And actually, I'm gonna have these, like this gear, the helmet, the bike, like even the 250 stroke bike and the 450 bike that I'm also running in game will also be down in the description below to download. So there's a ton of links in the description below. There's gonna be 3 tracks, you know, this gear combo without my name and number and all that stuff on it, and the bike combo, the same thing, no name and number, and then the link to donate if you can. But yeah, running the whole pink get up for the rest of the year to show my support in the fight against breast cancer, and just trying to raise awareness and you know, help out my family where I can. And maybe at some point I'll switch it over to just general donations towards Breast Cancer Foundation, but for now I'd like to try to help out my family if I can. And I know that it's been really tough for the husband and 2 children she left behind when she passed a few weeks ago, so definitely always having them on my mind, and that's why I'm continuing to rock the pink. But yeah, Red Bull Straight Rhythm, I'm gonna keep going here for a couple more minutes because I want to try to beat this 53.8 now that I've laid one down. It's given me an extra drive to want to beat my own times here. It was really cool too that I can set up this demo such, or the ghost is such that when I beat it, it just comes back. That's one of the cool features of MX Simulator is ghost racing. Not too many people I feel like use it, but it is a pretty good tool to kind of figure out, you know, where you were fast on one line and where you were going to go faster on another, and so on and so forth. So I like this. Oh, damn, that's so close. Just clones myself at the beginning, which is kind of funny looking, but then the rest of the time is just damn, obviously me squaring off against myself. Oops, having some issues now. Would have already been disqualified for crossing over the white line here. 2-strokes in MX Simulator are always kind of, I guess, mocked because they have a very interesting sound to them. Some people think that it's probably the worst 2-strokes noise they've ever heard, but what I like about it is that you can actually hear the revs going through the gears, and it kind of helps you understand a little bit better like what gear you should be in and things like that. Going a little long on these jumps. Throwing some dualies though. Oh, he crossed over, disqualified. Oh, here we go, got a good drive. Oh, it's gonna be a drag race to the finish line. Get him, get him, get him! Did I get it? No, I did a 53.9. All right, try again. Try again here and see if I can't make it happen. Don't want to spend too much time doing this, but like I said, I really want to beat that time now that I've ran one. And this is looking like a much better run so far. Oh, scrubbing down. Oh boy, going a little long on this guy. I can't see! Jeez, this is close. It's gonna be a photo finish again. Get the whoops clean. Oh, I got it, I got it. Woo! 53.7. Great way to end the video with a dub. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. this little gameplay edition of the 2018 Red Bull Straight Rhythm. Again, links in the description below if you guys want to try it out. And for Kellen here on Start Your Systems, I will see you guys in the next one. So long for now.